or Thursday PD. This week, we're looking at YouTube in the classroom, and in specific, how you can start your own educational YouTube channel. So we're going to look at some tips, tricks, best practices, how everyone is using YouTube in the classroom. I'm going to pull in our guests one at a time so everyone can introduce themselves. My name is Seti. I'm based in Bangkok. I've been on YouTube for about 3-4 years now. Some of us have been on YouTube a bit longer, others a bit shorter, but I have been a huge fan of YouTube for a very long time. I've been watching YouTube. I probably spend a little bit too much time on YouTube as well, and I'm sure that most of my students do as well. So let's just invite our first guest into the show. So we have our friend James, another regular.
Hello. Nice to
James.
see you.
Do you want to quickly introduce yourself for our new viewers? Because I'm sure that we're going to have loads of new viewers this week.
I'm James Abella, and I've been on YouTube since 2007, apparently. And I have to admit that I pretty much use it as a place to store videos and share it with who I want to. I've not really got into the whole streamer YouTuber vibe, but I've had some decent views for some of my videos.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing. I'm going to pull in our next guest, and this is another one of our regulars. We've got Ralph.
Hello, everybody. Welcome, new on-watchers. My name is Ralph. I'm speaking out of Bangkok. I'm working at BCISB, British Columbian International School, Bangkok, as their tech admin or their educational technology coordinator. And I am pretty similar to James. I also use mostly YouTube in the classroom to show videos which are relevant to the content and to store my private videos on them. I am try to follow what happens with YouTube, and I'm very interested in how much of an impact it has on producers like Seti. And yeah, I wish to start an own channel at some point, but so far that hasn't happened. Let's see.
Right, thank you for that. Just very quickly, Ralph, you wish to start a channel, just start one. Start today. Once we're finished with this live show, you're going to spend an extra 10-15 minutes with me, and we're going to set up your channel. We're going to make it happen.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing. Right, I'm going to pull in our next guest, and this is another regular. He's often in the back room. He's sort of observing everything and giving us lots of really great little nuggets in our private chat. But this week, let's hear from Gary.
Hi, good evening. I'm Gary Garcia from the Philippines. I am a Google innovator and a State University professor. I've been with YouTube. I've been using YouTube for about 5 years now, but not really very serious in uploading videos, because I followed YouTube and its changes, and it's a bit overwhelming. So I hope to learn a lot from Seti for tonight's session.
Right, thank you for that, Gary. And then as we have a 6-person limit at a time on the screen, I'm going to pull in 2 more, and then maybe one of us jumps to the back room, and then we're going to have another one, because we actually have a couple of newcomers in this week's show. So I'm really excited. Anyone here, if you can go onto your social medias right now before we continue, and then just get that share link at the bottom on YouTube Live. And this is a YouTube thing, so we're going to talk about some best practices. One best practice is about 2-3 minutes in, you tell people to share. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to ask every single viewer to take that link, share it out to their social networks, and then we're going to continue. Our next guest is a newcomer, and we welcome Rob. So Rob, welcome to our stream.
Hey, everybody. My name is Rob, and I'm in Seoul, South Korea. And I've been using YouTube since 2006, but recently I've been using YouTube mostly for how-to videos for my school's parents, because almost all the parents at my school are non-native Korean speakers. So it really helps to be able to send out a how-to video and help them out that way. Yeah, so I'm happy to be here and hope I can add something.
Brilliant. Thank you for that. Look, I know it's been a couple of weeks that we've been trying to get you onto the stream. So first of all, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
We're really excited and just ready to share and just have a chat. Right. Thank you for that, Rob. And then next, we've got another one of our old timers. So Eric, welcome to the stream.
Hello, I'm Eric Burton. I'm also in Korea, and I'm currently working as an English language arts teacher. I mostly use YouTube for all the great resources that we can find for classes, but I also make a lot of screencasts and instructional videos as well. That I like. The default on my videos is unlisted, and I just link to the people that need them. I don't usually go for a lot of hits.
Look, that's how it starts. That's how it starts. Unlisted videos, and then you catch that bug, and then before you know, you've got a massive channel. Right, next one, and then we're gonna hit our 6-person limit. Just note, if you're a viewer, we have a lot more guests in the back room, so if you'll see many more people pop in, and we might even have a little special guest later on in the show. We're just waiting for him to finish off work. So you already know he's not in the same time zone, but he is going to come and join us. Next thing is another newcomer. So we have our Nick Morgan guest. So Nick, do you want to quickly introduce yourself?
Hi, yeah, my name's Nick. I'm a primary school teacher at the British School in Kathmandu. I'm in my 2nd year here. I'm very new to YouTube. I think I put my account out about 2 weeks ago. I've grown in subscribers very quickly, up to 9 today, so it's going very well so far. I thought I would try and just share some of the stuff, some of the training that I'm doing with my colleagues at school already, and just try and put that out there a bit more.
Brilliant, thank you. So lots of people on YouTube. That's amazing to hear. So yeah, this week the topic is YouTube and an educational channel. So my first question that I'd like to just throw out there is, how do you use YouTube in the classroom? And this is both from a content consumer and a content creator point of view. How is everyone using YouTube in the classroom? I'm not sure if anyone wants to go first here. James, maybe if you want to go.
Sure.
And then we'll
I mean,
just take it
I
from
actually
there.
have to say, since I've taken computer science as my main subject, it's mostly creating YouTube, because there's not so much good YouTube content, and most people, when they try and do programming, they don't want to be watching somebody talking about it for ages. They want the answer now and get on with it. So quite often I live cast my classroom, particularly if a student is away or they literally can't make it up that final flight of stairs because they hurt their ankle. I've quite frivolously used the live streaming functionality to do that. But also, more seriously, when we had the haze issues, I was able to send out videos, and it's a great way for students who miss classes to catch up on content. Generally,
in terms of streaming, do you use the actual platform, or do you use external services for that?
A mixture, but the actual platform itself is fine if you're just recording one video. And you can even just send it off your phone, which is fantastic. And if it's unlisted, you're going to send it to that 1 or 2 students who need it. And, you know, you're not going to be embarrassed because if it was rubbish, you delete it. If it turns out to be semi-useful, then you can send it around the other students. And I put those a lot into my revision site, so the students who need to catch up can quickly get those.
And what's been the response from sort of your students in general and parents? And
well, I mean, literally, I had one student a couple of years ago who went to Japan for a whole term, and he came back to the class and it was like he never disappeared, because he was literally following along and participating. And because, you know, we have things like Google Classroom, he was able to fully participate. And literally, I had a kid with his phone, recorded every lesson, sent it to Japan, every lesson. And, you know, that's how it worked. And he would send the odd email back.
Oh, wow. See, that's what I keep saying as well, is like sort of the power of YouTube in terms of just it transcends, you know, time zones. And also, I mean, some students might just have, let's say they have a boring Saturday and they haven't got anything planned, and, you know, they can if they have that interest. So yeah, I remember one of your last videos actually that I saw, which was amazing, which was about, I think it was machine learning, the one.
Oh yeah,
it was a bit longer. I think that was more aimed at parents and staff.
That one was a parents video, because those parents who couldn't make it to the workshop could watch the video, and it's a good way to practice, actually, you know, before you do the video live.
Yeah, just quickly for everyone watching at the moment or later on to the replay, I'll pop everyone's channels in the description below. So if you hear anything, you're sort of wondering, I want to check out that content, or I'm interested in that, it'll be in the description. So if you just go down there, Not right now, because we're still live, but once the live show is over, it'll be in the description. Right, anyone who would like to share next about how we're using YouTube in the classroom and some success stories of what's been going on? And
well, I just mentioned that I had I use it for instructional for screencasts and try to teach different things. And I just now, as we were talking, figured out that I'm a YouTube star because apparently I've got 4,000 views on a Google how to make a numbered list video and 50 likes.
Boom.
And so yeah, okay, so yeah.
Made man,
yeah,
you've done
let
it.
you guys know. Yeah.
Brilliant. All right.
So,
And do you post? How many videos have you posted now? Because
well, I was looking on my personal account, and I don't know. It's hard to tell because I've done. It's been over a long span of time, but then I just sorted by views and found out how famous I was. So I don't know. It's a lot over time, just because I need to teach people technical things or English language arts kind of things. Yeah.
Brilliant.
There must be a total somewhere, but I don't know where it is.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, well, actually, we can get into that later because that is part of YouTube, is sort of keeping track of your stats and everything. But yeah, I mean, what you said, the 4,000 views, that's brilliant.
I never knew that at all.
That shows you the power of YouTube, really, doesn't it? And that's the message I often sort of want to share with our student parents and with our students as well, is that, look, YouTube is a real thing. Like, you might have videos that have 0 views for months on end, and then you make something and it's there and people respond to it. And before you know it, it blows up. You get hundreds of views. I mean, like what you're saying, 4,000 views, that's 4,000 people that have watched your video.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like if you get 4,000 people in a room, you probably wouldn't have, you wouldn't have said the same sort of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Same with, some of the videos that I'm sure many of us have shared. So yeah, let's hear from, yes, our friend Nick. Nick, share us about your YouTube journey, please. It's really interesting.
So it's a bit different, I suppose, because it's difficult for me to use it with the class because we're not in a one-to-one school in primary anyway. So there's the extra limitation that every time I want them to be watching anything on YouTube, that I need my class to then get headphones booked, and we then have bookable iPads. So you have to really plan for it. You can't do it at the drop of a hat. Does add an extra element of challenge in terms of using it and implementing it day to day. I like putting together a lot of video libraries from other people's resources, and there's just so many great things on YouTube. And I think one of the main takeaways that I try to encourage other teachers to appreciate is that YouTube's how people are going to teach themselves. Like, moving forward, it's the easiest way to start teaching yourself. Not many people are going to go, oh, I want to change a plug, I best go open a book. You're going to find it, you're going to look it up on Google, and Google's probably going to give you the first thing is going to be a YouTube video that's going to show you how to do it in about 3 minutes, unless you've got like 3 minutes of intro time like some do as well. So I encourage my kids to go on there. I encourage them to use it as a learning resource. I think there's going to be an extra element to that I think eventually it will become stigmatized the way that Wikipedia has, as being whether or not it's trustworthy and whether or not you can then use it in any reference materials. But at the age they're at for primary, it's a really fantastic resource for them. You've got all the Khan Academy videos.
I really like what you said there about making that link with Wikipedia. I do see that coming, but I think it's already there. Because, I mean, really, YouTube it's a platform for creators. So anyone can create anything. So I think it again emphasizes the importance for us to teach them those digital literacy skills and those skills of, verifying information, double checking, triple checking everything, making sure the sources are right. So I think in that sense, I think it'll stay there. Yeah, I think YouTube as a platform, because of its nature, it's video innate. I think it resonates with this generation, and it's such a, yes, it's a different platform, but it's incredibly powerful. It's versatile, because what we're doing right now, I mean, how else would you do this? Like, we've got educators literally from all over the place. We've got Kuala Lumpur, Bangkok. We've got people in the Philippines. We've got Nepal, Korea. It's literally a global thing. And then once you dive into the chat, it's even more diverse. So that's what I love about it.
there's so many great ways that you can use that as well, because we get our classes to go onto YouTube and find bad videos, get them to go on, use those critical thinking skills, hunt down a video that has preconceptions about gender roles, different ideas about how households are run, and loads of different things to do. Looking at advertising and any like misogyny or anything that you want to look for that's in there, there's just so many great ways you can use that to your advantage. But I think, and I know a lot of the parents at my school especially, they see it as wasted time, and I think that's a shift that hopefully will change over time.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember I was doing some research, and I remember back in the day when sort of books really started kicking off, and you saw these articles come out and people complaining about, oh, my child is addicted to books and all they do is read, and they're constantly reading and they're stuck in this fantasy world of letters and words. And well, now I think every educator on the planet would say that the biggest gift you can give to a child is a love of books and reading. And we all see the value of that now. Whereas back then, people were panicking because suddenly on the bus, everyone's looking at a book. What's going on? Like, it's just this. I think it's the nature of new technology.
Yeah, there's always fear. There's always fear about change, about what it's going to look like and how that's going to impact things. I think one of the important takeaways there is that the overarching fear is that, the overarching thing that you're giving someone, giving them a book, is you're giving them the opportunity to teach themselves.
Yeah.
So before the internet, it was giving someone a book. Today, giving them a tablet, let them loose, figure out what they come back with.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Is there Rob or Gary? Do you want to share on how you're using? Yeah, Rob.
Yeah, sure. One of the things I think is really important for teachers is to understand that like YouTube is this huge collection of knowledge, and one way that I find is a good way to help students navigate that is to create playlists. We create playlists for camps and subjects, so that teachers don't have to look around. And I'm not a teacher now. I'm an administrator, so we can find a whole playlist of things and share it with teachers. One tool maybe I want to share with anybody viewing right now is it's a website called controlq.org. I'll put it into the chat. And what it is you can find a great playlist that already exists, and you can pop the link into that website, and it will then copy all those videos into your own playlist. And then you can maybe take some out or add whatever, and you can save a lot of time because you don't have to go through and create a whole new playlist from scratch. So I think playlists is a great way to help kids and help teachers to save time, and also be able to get good information that you as a teacher have already vetted, so they don't have to worry so much about the fakes or the bad information out there. So playlist,
I think that's brilliant. I mean, I think Nick will agree that when I was doing my session on YouTube, I think one of the first things I mentioned was playlists, because often people they still see YouTube as a big bad wolf, basically. And I get that a lot from parents, like, what? You're having my son or my daughter go onto YouTube?
Yeah.
Like, YouTube? Really? It's like, yes. Like, and you use YouTube? It's like, yes, absolutely. And you as a parent, you should be using YouTube, and everybody should be on YouTube. Why? Because we get to curate content. Like what you were saying, Rob, we get to go and find those videos, put them in a playlist, and then we share that playlist rather than have them, go from one video to another, and they end up in this, this rabbit hole of just content.
They can, and also the algorithm isn't perfect. So, and there's also for children, you have to be careful, because there's also some children that look like children's videos that aren't. So,
well, I'm going to have a whole thing on that later in the live chat, because there's some huge changes coming. I don't know if anyone's heard about it, if anyone's seen it. There's some big things changing on the platform, big changes. This could completely change everything.
I did Yeah, I did see some rumblings. There was a very famous YouTuber, Markiplier. He's got 24 million subscribers, and there was a bit of a problem, and some people were getting their account suspended because they were spamming stuff. But I think that's because they're really trying to control things better. They're trying to protect people.
It's been happening for a while now. So basically, what happened is it all started, I think, about a year or two ago. And they've been calling it the sort of adpocalypse. And we've had 3 instances now. So the first one was all about hate speech. And so they started cracking down on that. And this had to do with some videos that had gone up by some creators where they were really pushing the boundaries of like, what can I get away with? And so what happened was all these big advertisers were pulling away from the platform, which means obviously YouTube is no longer making money. So they were then obviously upset with those creators. So they started cracking down on that and they started demonetizing videos, which basically means that a creator can no longer split revenue with YouTube. Then there was a second adpocalypse, and this had to do with sort of family-friendly content. And so YouTube started pushing family-friendly content, and they no longer wanted... a lot of brands were sort of expressing, I don't want my videos on all these, I don't want my ads on videos with swear words. I don't want my ads on videos with substance abuse. And I don't want my ads on. And so what happened then was eventually YouTube started saying, okay, we now have different levels and, you need to indicate what sort of videos you're creating. And then we age gate it. And then that ties in with YouTube Kids. Like those ads would never show up on YouTube Kids, and they would never show up on sort of signed in users below certain ages. And now what happened is with COPPA, so COPPA, basically YouTube got sued and they lost. And so YouTube had to pay an awful lot of money because they were keeping track of user data of users that were obviously under 13 to serve them personalized ads. Now we're talking about the Blippi channels and the cartoon channels and the music channels. There's so many, and they're incredibly successful. I mean, you will have seen there's a vast amount of children content and children videos, but they were serving personalized ads to those children. Now, personally, as a parent, I actually prefer that, because if my child is watching something, why not have a little ad that is child friendly? I don't want them to see an ad about, the latest drug antidepressant or whatever. Like, serve them personalized ads by all means. Like, if it's kids content, make sure those ads are kids friendly. However, on the legal paperwork, that doesn't look good, because that looks as if YouTube is tracking children and tracking, data on them. So basically what you have to do now, since the 10th, so actually, the 10th of December, they're going to start enforcing it. I think it's the 10th of December. But today, you will also already see on your YouTube channels, there's a notice. You need to indicate if your channel's content or your video is aimed at children. And if it is, then you need to indicate that, and you will lose a whole bunch of features. Some of the features that you will be losing are comments. So you no longer be able to comment on those videos, and that is to protect those children, because there were some cases of predators leaving comments and links and all sorts of stuff. Just absolutely disgusting. But that goes away. Personalized ads goes away. And that's about 80–90% of a creator's income, because all the money comes from personalized ads. So that is going away. And there's some other things happening as well. So there's huge changes coming. And the worst thing is, if you as a creator now indicate that your video is not for children, and machine learning indicates that it is for children, COPPA is then going to do a big sweep, and they're going to sue everyone, and basically you're liable for 41 or 42,000 US dollars.
Maybe
per video.
City, I would like.
Sorry, that was a really long talk. I apologize, but I'm really
great.
Passionate about that.
Very fascinating.
Ralph is back in the room. Ralph, how do you use YouTube, and what are you excited about, and are you worried about these changes?
I might forget the question I have to ask when I now tell you.
You're on the big screen, so you've got the floor. You've got the floor.
Even though YouTube is an amazing tool, James also said that there's a lot of difficult content in there, and depending on how strict your school is and how sensitive your students are, you must really pre-watch all the stuff you want to show in order to not expose some content they shouldn't see. And that being said, I wanted to ask you to explain in the copper discussion at the moment what is really the difference between personalized ads and general ads. Maybe you can explain why that is that much of an impact for producers like you.
Well, as a creator, once you hit your monetization, you get a 50% cut. So basically, all the ad revenue that comes in is split between you and YouTube as a platform. Now, that's fair. YouTube hosts all the videos. They have to pay for those servers. It's incredible that we actually have a platform where we can host all this. That 50% cut comes from ad revenue. Now, the ad revenue is linked to AdSense. And this is where companies and anyone wanting to advertise, you could buy ads on YouTube to promote something that you are doing. And so you're going to negotiate with Google. And then they say, what sort of ads would you like to buy? And there's different rates for different types of ads. Now you can have those pre-roll ads, mid-roll, there's little banner ads at the bottom, there's ads down the side. They all have different rates, and I have no idea how much, companies pay for that. But depending on, first of all, who you are and who the channels that you are going to serve those ads to are, you will get a rate. Now that is the money that the company will have to pay. Now this is called a CPM. Now your CPM is cost per mil. Now the cost per mil is made clear to the creator, but we're not allowed in the terms of service to discuss the CPM publicly. So that is one thing I am not sharing is, what sort of CPMs are coming in and what sort of CPMs different people are getting, because that is between YouTube and the companies, and they have negotiated that. A personalized ad is always at a much higher CPM because the company has specified exactly who they want to serve the ad to. For example, if I watch a lot of videos about cars and I watch a lot of videos about the latest motors and racing and all these kind of things, well then companies like Ford and Hyundai and any of these brands, they will pay a lot of money to serve an ad to me. Whereas if you are someone who's been watching a lot of go green content and you're always talking about riding a bicycle and you're against cars, and they will not pay to serve an ad to you because you are not their target. So a personalized ad is very, very powerful for both the creator and the company. First of all, for the company, because they are able to spend their money and it goes to people who are actually interested in their products.
So all child-relevant content shall be excluded from displaying personal ads. Personalized
ads. So now what's been happening is some companies have been said, look, we're a toy company. I want my content to be on cartoons and I want my content to be on this so that kids see it. Now, because
that all falls away now.
That all falls away. So now your child will see a car ad.
But that there's less money in marketing to children, because that's a fairly positive outcome, I would say. Because that means
I'm very worried, because what this means is very large creators, very large channels that are making kids content are now going to do a lot more brand deals, a lot more product placement. So what happens is that content is going to change.
It's blurry, and it gets blurred out by...
So we're going to get a lot more Ryan Toy reviews and a lot less cartoons. And we're going to get a lot more people making deals with the companies themselves, advertising in their videos. So I think the quality will go down of that kids' content. Another worry is people that are sort of blurry in the middle, in between. Our channel is in the middle. We're an educational channel. We are not specifically catering for children. We are here for teachers. But machine learning might interpret in the long run, we don't know at this moment, but they might say educational content is aimed at children. What happens then is, first of all, we've not specified that in our channel. Second of all, because we are, first of all, family friendly, we don't swear, we don't, because we're educators. But what that means is that a lot of creators are going to say, hold on a minute, I still want to make money. I want personalized ads. I'm going to start swearing, because that way I can say my content is not for kids. I can make it very, very clear. And I think it was Philip DeFranco in his news show made a really, really, I know it was a joke, but he summed up what was happening. He was like, okay, so machines are going to scan our content to make sure that we're child friendly or not. Okay, and he just ran on a rant and he just swore for like a full minute. He said, right, just so you know, machines, I'm not for kids. Give me my ads.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen.
Atrocious.
Yeah.
Also, I just noticed, I went through my YouTube channel, it's already flagged some of my stuff as made for kids, which is fair enough because most of it was featuring toys.
There you go.
So, but also I think YouTube will generically put adverts for those kids. So if you made it for kids, I think it's fair enough that it's not recording and it's disabling certain functions.
No, I don't mind that. I'm more worried about the effect it's going to have long term. Because personally, labeling for kids is fine. I think personalized ads should be fine, because it is probably safer to have a personalized ad than a non-personalized ad. And I think this is because it was illustrated. I can't remember the channel. There was a channel that he was a lawyer, and then he went to speak to the people at COPPA and everything. And basically what happened was they were admitting that they had no idea how YouTube worked, how monetization worked, how the ads worked. They just heard YouTube is tracking information about kids, so therefore they are breaking the law. And so there's I think people have time till the 10th of December to voice their concerns. To say, look, this is what's really going on. Please don't touch this. People, they're going to stop being family friendly if machines are going to start flagging it.
And then kids are just going to pretend they're older, right?
Yeah. And then the problem is your content is going to start having a very different feel. Like your Markiplier, for example. Markiplier might start leaning towards the PewDiePie. He might start being a bit more like that and a bit less, because now he's all bubbly and positive, and that's the sort of gaming content he makes. And then other more edgy gamers, they're going to earn a lot more because they're now getting personalized ads, and he's no longer getting them.
So PewDiePie, for example, he will get personalized ads. His content is
absolutely. His entire channel is not suitable for kids, even though a lot of kids watch it. But if he clarifies that and says, "Look, my content is not for kids," he will get personalized ads.
But what about all his Minecraft content, which he has been coming back to now so much?
That's where it's blurry, but he's put enough bad language in there that he can justify the fact that it's not for kids.
So only the bad language makes it okay to not be for kids.
Well, that's the sad thing about this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's
the easiest.
It's the opposite way we want it to be. Nobody should use foul language in order to just distinguish themselves from channels who are for kids. I mean, I
agree.
But I'm happy that Nick said something positive, that marketing will not reach the young'uns so much. So I guess that is a thing I didn't think about.
Well, for me, it's a bit like it's back to my childhood, where manga videos deliberately used to put in swear words to get the over 15 rating.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that, James.
So, hey guys, I know we're talking about ads and revenue and stuff. I just wanted to pop in and say to teachers who are trying to use YouTube in the classroom, sometimes you really have to worry about, upcoming videos, what pops up next. And I mean, in Korea, it's interesting because my school actually has an interesting situation where there's English teachers and then there's also Korean teachers, and they teach separately. And the Korean teachers don't usually use Chrome. They might use Internet Explorer. Or if they use Chrome, they use like bone stock Chrome, and you'll walk past a classroom and you see beer commercials popping up before videos, and it's kind of it's a little strange, right? They seem to not mind, but I really don't like it. So I wanted to share an add-on, a really great add-on for Chrome called Magic Options. I mean, there's lots of ad blockers out there, but this one is called Magic Options, and you can find it and you can add it to Firefox, or you can also add it to Chrome. And what you can do is you can shut off autoplay. You can turn off comments. You can also turn off annotations. You can turn off all of those things so that content that you want is clean. There's no, the kids aren't going to see something you don't want them to see by accident. So it's a really great add-on called Magic Options for YouTube. And it's just a way to, like, even a video that's totally fine for kids to watch might have things on it that you don't want them to see. So it just sanitizes that. And it basically just takes, I think Sethi was showing earlier this week, Sethi, weren't you talking about a website that would take a YouTube video and sanitize it?
Sorry, go ahead, James.
I was just going to say, Adpuzzle is really good because you can actually do voiceovers and change videos quite a lot, and chop them, which is really handy. So if you need something which needs a little bit more work than just stop it from auto playing the next video, but you need to perhaps chop or do a voiceover, say like you have a World War II video, but you want to put the right content on it for your syllabus, then Adpuzzle's perfect for that. And also you can add questions, so it's brilliant.
I love Adpuzzle. In terms of just using the videos though, this is where it's a bit tricky, because I'm literally in the middle. Because I fully agree with Rob when you say, the whole beer commercials and all that stuff, that's personalized ads. If that person, if we make sure that we're signed in and that we use our school accounts, then we will not get that. We will get things that are easily skipped and not intrusive. And so I'm literally stuck in the middle, because as a creator and as a supporter of YouTube, those ads are important. If we don't have that, then we have a platform like Vimeo where everyone has to pay. Now, as educators, I do agree. That's why I shared that website, ViewPure. So ViewPure is basically ViewPure allows you to take a video URL, you pop it in, and you prepare it, and everything is gone. All the distractions are gone. It's there for your lesson. However, a blank ad blocker for YouTube, I think that's different. One, first of all, you're breaking terms of service. And I know I referred to this, but like we agree to, as we use this platform, like if you have if you've got any experience with like web hosting, or the amount of video that is being hosted for free, it is ridiculous. It is just, the money has to come from somewhere. That's one side of it. Now, I would highly recommend, and this is something that I've actually suggested before, is as a school, look into getting YouTube Premium. If you have any concerns about YouTube in terms of ads, in terms of personalization, in terms of inappropriate content, when you get YouTube Premium, which is at the moment, I think $9.99 a month or something like that, it's like $10 US. YouTube Premium has no ads, because they figure, okay, you're paying a monthly fee, you don't get ads. Done. So then we are on that sort of Vimeo platform. Now, ad blockers do have a place, because there are some horrendous websites out there that just take it too far. YouTube, I leave ads on. However, if there's a specific video and I don't want distractions, because imagine a class of 7-year-olds, you've got a video, suggested videos are Peppa Pig. Guess what's going to happen? It's the end of your lesson. They all go for Peppa Pig. They shout, oh, Peppa Pig, Peppa. So you don't want that. If it's all about the content, ViewPure, you pop the link in, you prep your lesson, and boom, it's there. You can trim it. Adpuzzle, you can add questions, you trim the video, maybe pop it into a Google Slides. A beginning, end time, mute the video, talk to the students as the video is playing in the background. So there are plenty of options there. Yeah, go for it.
Can I ask, so I understand that for me, there's a big concern generally. I think it's largely unethical to advertise to children, but I think it's also completely inevitable, and that's just a thing that has to be accepted. But beyond that, there's other considerations there about giving the children the chance to see this stuff and then giving them the opportunity to kind of fail with using YouTube. Like, it's inevitable that they're all going to see inappropriate content before they're age appropriate. Like, that's just a given. It's a complete fallacy to believe that no person's going to see 18 rated content, no matter what it is, if it's like John Wick or Joker or something like that, before they reach 18. Like, we just live in that world. So there's also an element of me as a teacher where you're in this complete conflict where you know that you have to follow this one line, but you also know that it's just not possible and it's not practical. It goes back to that critical thinking where you kind of want them to be able to learn not to click on ads, but that they're going to experience them and learn how to find appropriate content, navigating their way through inappropriate content. That's the life that they're going to lead eventually. So I do wonder if there's a bit of too much insulation that schools expect sometimes that's largely impractical.
Yeah. No, and I agree, but it's there are options out there. Like, if you want to stay like 100% legal and still contribute and all those things, and yeah, absolutely, there are options out there. I just see that we have one of our guests back. I'm just going to pull in Gabriel. Gabriel, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and then chip in?
Yeah, Gabriel here from Bangkok, Google certified trainer, Apple teacher, Microsoft innovative educator, all things ICT. I just saw the Google market capitalization is only 894 billion. So I definitely think we need to get that Google premium for $9.99. Get that market cap a little bit higher.
Gabriel, just quickly. I think we're getting right. Okay, so yes, YouTube is owned by Google, right? However, Google is owned by Alphabet. These are all subdivisions. It would be very reasonable for Google to say, we no longer do YouTube, or we make it a Vimeo model, because they don't have to have this free. There are two options. Either you pay for a program or you become so you pay for a service or you are the service. In YouTube's market model, we are the service. So as a thank you, yes, I'm happy to watch an ad. And I've said this 100 times before. Do you remember the days of illegal streaming and illegal downloading? And like back then, what I used to constantly say, and people say, oh, you're downloading movies. And I say, yes, give me a legal platform where I can stream legally. Netflix came out. Look how successful they are.
And I think with YouTube, you know, the petabytes that they are actually hosting is incredible. And
I think their profit
if you don't want
margins
adverts, you pay for the subscription. Yeah, they are tiny.
YouTube, it's the other products, like Google's ad revenue is paying for YouTube. YouTube is not their profit horse.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's true. But I think that, like, for schools, it's kind of difficult to come up with that extra money, right? And if you are exposing the children to YouTube, then you are basically promoting their brand, right? So it's like you are giving. Well, but
that's with everything. That's with everything. You spend a fortune on a Mac Lab, a fortune. It's cost a lot of money, but every single one of them has the Apple. And your students, you're always promoting a brand, no matter what brand you use.
Yeah. So in a sense, like even if you do YouTube, like you're basically, in a way, you're sort of giving back to Google free advertising. So I think that. Yeah, you know, I mean, schools will block ads. And like, for instance, I had a situation where we had an administrator who said we should let students have Google Hangouts. And if they make mistakes, it's okay. They can learn from it, right? One parent complained, the policy was completely reversed. So if one parent complains about poor ads, then the administration will just say, no, we got to block the ads.
I think that's more at a school level.
That's illegal. That's the difference, is that if you block certain ads, you are violating terms and conditions, and then you're going to have to say, you know,
you shouldn't use the platform at all. Then
there are ways to avoid it by using things like Edpuzzle, which have an agreement with and I think we should, it's also about age appropriate.
Yeah.
They provide the YouTube Kids, which I think is which gets rid of inappropriate ads, right? YouTube Kids does that, right? So I think we can get around it without violating the conditions.
I mean, yeah.
Another thing that I would say there is, I mean, it doesn't. For example, let's say that one of your teachers, right, gets that YouTube Premium. What's stopping that teacher from creating playlists and using it? And like, you're also getting all these other things. It's not really, in the grand scheme of things, if you're going to use a service, especially as a teacher, stick to its terms of services. Another example I give is like when you're making a presentation for your students in class, right? Are you going to do a random Google search for an image and just pop it in, not credit anything, don't worry about copyright, just do the whole thing? Or are you actually going to be an example, make sure you credit your sources, use images that are allowed to be reused? And this is a question we need to ask ourselves. Yes, I've done this too. I've taken images and just popped them in. We've all done this. But I think that like, what message are you sending to your students? They're going home and they're on YouTube already. They are on YouTube. Are we going to teach them about ads? Are we going to teach them about that? Or are we going to say, "Ooh, this doesn't exist in school. You go home and you enjoy them"?
Well, I mean, I think that they know that the ads exist and they know how to press skip after like 4 seconds. Like a lot of our students just press skip on the ads. But I think that certain schools will, they'll do things that perhaps are not strictly 100% legal, but which they consider is in the best interest of their students. And I highly doubt that Google's going to come and, like, I mean, I know schools in China, for instance, that are using VPNs so they can use, Google, that, and these are prestigious schools and they're sort of being a bit flexible. And
no, I'm not.
I think that might be a bit more than being flexible as well. That could get some. If they don't have permission to use a VPN in China, that is definitely a no-no, and that could result in very serious criminal action. That's not just taking a picture of questionable copyright. And I think if you're not sure, you should still acknowledge your source. And I'm normally in the comments, I put where I got it from. But I think you've gone from a step of violating a technicality and in terms of conditions to doing something that is illegal and criminally going to get you into a lot of trouble in China if you don't have permission to use that VPN. And I know that schools do have to ask for special licenses and all sorts in China. And we are banned in China right now because we're watching YouTube, right? We're on YouTube. So, I think we always got to try and model the best example if we can. I understand that sometimes inadvertently teachers don't, but I think we try. And, there are great sites like Pixabay, which do offer creative commons. The NAM project, all of these offer them, and all you have to do is just say, just put the link up where you got it from. Just pop it in the comments. It's not a big ask. Sometimes maybe you are taking things and you don't get a second to do that, but if you're trying to make the effort, then parents, students appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree. Can I just quickly, I'm going to pull in one of our public comments from our YouTube watchers, which at the moment we've got a nice number of watchers. So I just want to thank everyone that is watching this live stream live. Pop into that comment section, into the chat. Let us know what you're thinking, what your go-to solutions to this problem are. And one of them here, I'm just going to pop it in, is by Esther, and she's saying magic options added to Chrome, shut off autoplay. And I think that's key, because that autoplay can be a real bugger in the classroom. It is. Yeah, we've now, I mean, it's changed. I can't remember when it changed. It used to be 2 or 3 seconds, and now it's a bit longer. Thank goodness for that. But yeah, autoplay is definitely, that's something that annoys me as well. The way I've gotten around that is by actually using Google Slides and Edpuzzle and these type of other things. But I'll definitely have a look at that magic option. So thank you, Esther, for that. And then I'm just scrolling through the comments, but if you're still here, you're watching live, I see Adriana is in the chat. So I just want to quickly shout out Adriana. Adriana, if you change your mind and you want to be on stream, live in the picture, then by all means, let us know. We'll pull
I
you
already
in.
know she's busy at a library conference, so she's
There
probably
you
not
go.
allowed to
So
make any noise. What can I say?
Well, she can type away and she can join in the conversation. So
Yeah.
Adriana, we're happy to have you here. Now that you are here, go down, get to that share link, share it out, and get some friends on, because it's always good to share out YouTube links and not download the video and pretend it's yours. Right. I'm going to ask Gary now to unmute himself and share with us how he uses YouTube in the classroom.
So I've been using YouTube for several years now. Been using it to learn something new, to learn something about technology. But in school, I use it for when I teach preschool. I use this very lively phonetic sounds and then I pause them so kids can follow me. But when I'm teaching in the basic education, usually it's more of the instructional materials. And then for the tertiary, it's more of the motivation, because with the condition of my tertiary students, it's more, they need more motivation. So it depends on the needs of my students. So that's how I use YouTube. So with the topic, with the legality, I don't have much problem, because with, for example, with the college, with the tertiary level, I have to download the video so I can present them, because the internet is not that great in the tertiary level that I'm with. So that's how I use YouTube.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that, Gary. So yeah, I think we're going to move on to the next bit, and this is really because I see we're getting close to that 1 hour mark, and I think some of us will probably want to leave, but we're not stopping the live stream, so people do stay around if you're ready for more. We might actually still have our special guest pop in later as well. I'm going to pull in Eric again. Rob is still in the back room, and Ralph is in the back room, and just give us a wave if you want to come back in, because as you know, we can have 6 people on screen, and then we're going to get some more later on. I will keep going if anyone wants to go before that, because usually our show is about an hour. By all means, you don't have to stick around too much longer. I will keep going, and I'm happy to keep going as long as there's people here. So let's just go on to the next part, and that is getting started on YouTube. Now, I know Nick has very recently started his YouTube channel. Do you want to quickly share about what you found was, let's say, the hardest part about getting started? What was the most difficult thing for you to overcome?
I think for me, there was probably 2 big things. First of all, there's like that weird kind of, and I don't know, maybe this is more of a Britishness thing, but we're really bad at selling ourselves. And the entire point of it is like, I'm doing something and I think it's good, so maybe other people will like it. And that definitely doesn't come naturally to me. The other part was just how many different tools you need to be able to use to really do this. I think you can very easily put on like QuickTime or any screen capturing service, make a video and put it on YouTube. But you know, I wanted to try and make sure that what I'm putting out there is presentable and worth putting out there. So as soon as you want to do that, there's a lot of different things you need to be able to do. It was a learning curve to go through. I think I probably spent longer than I needed to polishing up a few things, but there's just a lot of bits to it, really. If you want it to start looking mildly good, and mine's just miles away from the quality of content that your videos look like. So it's a work in progress, but there's a lot to it.
I totally agree, because I had no idea what I was getting into. It was just I just wanted a place to put some videos, and then I started learning a bit more, and it was just becoming this whole. Hold on a minute. I need to understand about cameras now, and what I need to do some video editing. What audio? Okay, I need microphones.
Video guides,
and then okay. So now there's analytics. Okay, so how does that work? And there's so much that comes with it. It's mind-boggling, but I love it. I love it.
One
and I think
is,
go ahead.
Got 7 views, you don't have to worry about the analytics too much.
That's also good. That is a fact. However, do keep an eye on your audience retention, because if everybody leaves after 2 minutes and you have a 20-minute video, maybe tweak it a bit. Because that's the only thing I would say there. But yeah, I just saw Rob is about to leave. I think James is also leaving. I think he's left, actually. I think James is gone. James has left the building. It is very late there, though, because it's definitely his bedtime. But yeah, so we're saying bye-bye to James in Kuala Lumpur, but we're probably saying hello to a lot of other people that are now about to wake up. So I'm going to ask everyone to share again, because we've got countries waking up. And Rob is about to go as well, I think, because it's, what time is it there now? Oof. Do you still have your microphone on, or have you just decided that's it?
No, it's 11 o'clock here, and I have to get up around 5 to get ready for school tomorrow. So I just wanted to say thanks for the opportunity, and you guys had some great conversation, and I hope it continues, and I'll check out the rest of this tomorrow.
Brilliant. We'd love to have you back next time. It was amazing having you. Thank you for coming.
All right, thanks guys. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Right, so we're going to pull Ralph back into the stream. He's eating. Enjoy your midnight snack. We've got Gary back in the stream. All 6 of us. There is currently nobody in the back rooms. Pops in, I'll let everyone know, but you're all on screen, and as soon as you unmute yourselves, you are more than welcome to speak. Anyone else wants to share about their YouTube journey and what they've experienced so far in terms of creating content? Nope. Yeah, don't all go at once.
It's great to see you that motivated, and apologies for eating something. I find it interesting to see what our exit strategy or YouTubers' exit strategy can be. And I think it was PewDiePie who endorsed another platform for streaming, but I don't know which one it was.
D-Stream.
Say again?
D-Stream or something like that. It was it's based on the blockchain.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Everything about the blockchain I like and I'm fascinated with. But James said he puts a lot of videos from his private videos up, and in my case I put a lot of personal videos up now. And
yeah, we've seen that you've accidentally uploaded them to our channel as well.
Yes, I always set them to private, so you need the link to watch it. But I know that you can download your own videos from YouTube legally. There's a download button. But even just that would take a lot of creators many hours to click through them. So in my head, I already see myself playing with the Google Apps script and the YouTube API to get lists and download links maybe automatically, and so you can back up your YouTube.
Just quickly, I would make sure that you have your videos. First of all, if you're going to be serious about YouTube, have a backup of your videos, because whenever you download, every single time you upload to YouTube, it's compressed by the YouTube algorithm. So if you upload a video and then download it, it's a significantly lower quality. Even if you upload in 4K or whatever resolution, it is significantly reduced. I think it was I think actually it was MK.
I didn't know that, City.
Yeah, let me just check out, because actually I've got a video. I'll share it in the comment section where somebody did it 100 times. The same video, up, down, up, down, up, down. By the end, there was nothing left. It was just blurry white, like it was a mess. So yeah, let me just quickly find that. Does anyone else wants to quickly talk while I go and locate that video? Eric, what's been your hindrance in terms of becoming more active on YouTube?
Well, before I was a teacher, I didn't really have a lot of need to go in there, and now that I'm a teacher, I'm really busy. So when I really have to get something out, and it's the most efficient thing I can do is to make a video to explain it to a lot of people at once, then I'll do that, and then I'll just keep reusing those. But while I get more ideas, than I have time to complete in YouTube. So that's the main situation.
Okay, brilliant. I found it. So yes, it is definitely Marcus Brownlee. So I've got his video, and it's titled, "This is what happens when you re-upload a video 1,000 times." And he's actually done that. So he's just uploaded, downloaded, uploaded. He's done it 1,000 times, and it is shocking, the results and just how far the compression and the technology behind that on YouTube has come. I mean, it's gotten a lot better, and it is constantly getting better, but there has to be some compression, because I mean, we've got creators uploading 4K content. I mean, it's it's mind-blowing what's being uploaded at the moment. So yeah, there's definitely a lot going up. I see that Adriana, as we know her, is incredibly active in our chat, and I want to just say thank you for that. I see Nick is in that chat as well. Thank you, Nick, for popping in the chat while I'm having my spiel. I see Rob is in there as well. I'm just going to quickly pop in a little comment there from Adriana, where she says, Nick is right. We just need to prepare kids for the inevitable. I couldn't agree more. This is the whole conversation that we've had so many times about what do you do? Do you teach them about something, or do you block it?
At what time do you start then? You know?
As young as possible. This starts, we've had a media mentorship program where it's as basic as teaching your parents, when they're taking a picture of their child who might only be 3 years old, of just ask their permission. Is it okay if I take your picture? And get them into that habit. Get them into because that's another thing with YouTube, is like, who knows with facial recognition how many videos you've appeared in. As facial recognition is getting better, we might get flagged in 20, 30, 40, maybe 1,000 videos that we didn't even know. Maybe you're going to Disneyland, you're walking around, someone's doing a vlog and you're in the background. Who knows? Technology is definitely moving ahead, and these are all things that we need to think about. I love another comment also that she's made here, where she says, parents, you know, that are always talking about protecting the children, and then they're out there working just as hard to get to our kids. And so it's, yes, parents, we need to involve parents. A lot of parents will just hand their device to their child, and they're logged in, not realizing what's going on. It's all about, you know, it is going to happen. That's what Nick said, the inevitable.
For any or all of us who have engaged with the Common Sense Media program, that completely revolves around including all parties, for most parents as well. So, and it's good for us tech integrators to have something to show to them what the standard should be. Yeah, that they should be involved. That we need to educate our children.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, so starting YouTube, like Nick said, there's a lot that's involved with it. The most important tip I would give to anyone watching at the moment is get your audio sorted. People can deal with bad video. They're happy to deal with it. If your audio sucks, they will click away. Make sure your audio is spot on. So I'm going to go round. There's 5 of us at the moment on screen. If everyone gives one tip. Now, if you are not a current creator on YouTube, let this tip be something that you wished more YouTubers would know, that you want, something that you feel this needs to be improved for me to become a subscriber, for me to become a viewer, someone that constantly watches the content. All our viewers, because I see the number now, we've got quite a fair bit of viewers. If you could pop into that chat and tell us what is your number one tip for either creating content, or the number one thing that you wish YouTube creators would know you find annoying, or you would wish they did. My number one is definitely audio. I waited way too long to sort out my audio. My first videos were terrible audio. I cannot believe that I actually published those videos. Now I'm much happier. It's still not as good as I want it to be, but it is good enough. And that is something that I heard Roberto Blake speak about. And if you've ever, you know, looked into YouTube content or learning more about personal branding, Roberto Blake is a channel you need to look into. It's an amazing channel, great content. And he always talks about let your video be good enough. And so I upgraded my audio to the point where I thought it's good enough now. And so now I'm going to stick with that for a bit, and then I'll upgrade later. So my number one tip is audio. Right, on to the next one. Nick, what is your number one tip for YouTube?
Oh, I don't know. It depends on what front you're using it. Like, are you using it to teach yourself, or are you using it to share with kids? I think the one that probably gets me is I hate having to go through a 3-minute video, 3 minutes of video just to get to the point of the video. If I'm looking for like one short thing, like include some time stamping so I can just click ahead, or just I don't need your life story just to figure out how to change a light bulb, you know. That's a pet peeve.
Love that. Brilliant. Eric, what's your number one tip or number one wish for YouTube creators?
Well, you know, I've just spent a lot of time the last couple of days looking for videos that I can use to illustrate some story principles to my students. And there are a lot of videos that are made, you know, where people are making short films, and they're made on a low budget. And some of them, but I don't think it's exclusively that the budget's the factor. Just some of them look beautiful and some of them don't. It's like intentional lighting, but I don't know. It might, you know, I don't know enough about the camera situation but sometimes I can just tell. Audio, I totally agree, is super important, because I mean, sometimes when I'm watching, quote unquote, watching YouTube, I might as well be listening to a podcast because I'm flipping over doing other stuff on my screen. But there's something about the visual quality that I don't know enough to know what it is, but I can just look and I can say, okay, this is, if the acting might save it, but the quality is it looks like it's not going to be good.
Thank you for that. Well, I must say, my videos, my first couple ones, you probably don't want to watch them. Trust me, don't go back. But yeah, I would say that most of us have a camera in our pockets at the moment that is well decent. The only thing you need to add is good lights. That camera in your pocket, get some proper lights. If you don't have lights, sit in front of a window. Get the sunlight in. Well lit is always better. In terms of what you were saying, Eric, about functional lights, yeah, I agree. There's some creators that I think have they've got it. They're spot on. They have their sets, they have their backdrops, they've got that, you know, there's something about the video, like you were saying. There's just something that it's crisp, it's clean. One example is, for example, a fellow Thailand-based creator, Nick Nimmin. If you haven't heard of Nick Nimmin, his videos, basically he does how to do YouTube videos. But his content, when you look at it, and you will immediately see, like within 2 seconds, you know it's going to be quality, just because of that crispiness of the video, the lights, the backdrop, there's moving images, there's stuff. It's, you know, he's put in the time. I'm just going to quickly, before I move on to Gary and Ralph, I'm going to quickly pull in a comment from the chat, which is Stephen. Stephen, thank you for your comment, by the way. And I do agree, consistency is one of the most important keys of a successful channel. Yes, consistency is super important. One good example is our Thursday PD. Every single week we're here. And I want to just use this to say thank you to everyone here who's been a regular. You've been amazing. Thank you for doing that. Our viewers as well. You are brilliant. I keep seeing the same names pop up. I'm loving it. I just want to say thank you for being here. So yeah, Stephen, I definitely agree. Consistency is key. And some good sketch notes, maybe from time to time. I'm just making that little comment there. I'll just leave that. So Stephen, by all means, drop your links in that comment section below, because he is an absolute wizard when it comes to sketch notes. Yes. Right, we're going to move on to Gary. Gary, what is your number one thing?
Well, basically what I like about your channel is the layout, the design, the theme, the consistency, just like what Steven has mentioned. Because I know when to pause when I'm watching your video. So what I like about it is I know when to pause, and then I know I can review this. And what I like about this, another thing is it's very short, not very long. It's not dragging, so I like it that way. So I think you
Thank
don't
you
have
for
to
that.
not
I
bored.
really appreciate that. I have literally just published a 20-minute video, so I'm feeling a bit. You're sort of saying, "Oh,
Because
thank you for your short
Well,
videos."
how
And I've
much work
literally
did you
just
put in it? Like it is 20 minutes
that
long.
that was a long editing process, because that's another thing I think people underestimate. And Nick, I'm not sure if you will agree to me. Once you start editing your videos, a 2-minute video does not take 2 minutes to edit. It
10
is
times as much.
It's a painstakingly slow process.
Well, it's like getting used to teaching, right? Like you when you're brand new to teaching, your first hour of teaching, that's going to take you, what, 3 hours, 4 hours to plan. And slowly but surely that improves. It's the same thing. It's fluency is what you're developing.
Yeah, and that's why I don't, who was it that said it? Like, it takes 100 videos. You need to upload and edit 100 videos before it becomes somewhat okay. I think it was, who was it? Was it Mr. Beast, or was it MKBHD, or that uploaded like 1,000 videos before they even had a single viral video? So it takes consistency. I mean, even a creator like what Ralph mentioned, PewDiePie, I don't know if you want to quickly look up how many videos he's actually published, but I think people don't realize exactly how many videos some of these creators, and how many years they've been doing it. It takes time. It just takes time.
PewDiePie's got an education in design as well, hasn't he? In video design or something?
Well, that's the thing with Nick Nimmin as well. He's got a very, very successful channel. He's done it in a very short time. He's a graphic designer, so he had that. You know, he's a graphic designer. He's got some skills. I'm not saying he's a video editor, like, and that's again like Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon's channel blew up, but he had a solid background of understanding composition, cameras, video, photography, the whole thing. Like he understood that. Us, we're educators. We're not video editors. We're not.
Well,
Yeah, Ralph, jump in.
It's one thing to understand those and willing to learn how to set them up. That's very fascinating, but it costs a lot of money as well, as you know.
Well, realistically, no, because Mr. Beast did all his first videos. I don't even know the number. It was all done with his iPhone, and that was it.
Well, an iPhone costs 30,000 baht, which is about.
Well, if you don't have an
400.
iPhone, what have you? At the moment, Ralph? What do you use?
Well,
what phone do you have?
At the moment, I'm talking on a Chromebook, and I bought a GoPro.
You can get started. You've got a GoPro. What did you use as a main driver? Your phone, probably good enough to get started. Just the whole thing is start now. If you look at some of the YouTubers, like, I would love to see a video, if anyone feels like doing a massive collaboration of all these big names and all their first videos, and just like 2 seconds of each. They all looked terrible.
Is that out already, or do they want to do that?
No, I would love to see that. Whoever is big enough to get all those creators together and do that, I would love to see that video.
Oh, yeah, true that.
Because they all look terrible.
It is a funny thing, because this initial burden of finding or deciding on a niche of content you feel good enough to share about, that's an important step. And I know that in many motivational or approaches, even if you first fail, you have to get up and do it again. But what if that first topic I chose was the topic I'm most passionate about and it fails? You know, that's silly fears. But
I think the biggest thing that's holding people back is not starting. If it's just, it just has to be good enough.
There's definitely something to be said. There's not not time-consuming way to do this, unfortunately, at the moment. Like, unless you just want to put on like a video blog of like your current thoughts that you're just going to ramble for a little bit and upload it, and it's going to take you just a little bit longer than it did to make the video. if you want to try and put out, it depends on the kind of content you're going for. If like you and I, we're kind of going for that teacher training kind of direction.
Yeah,
there's a lot to break down. There's a lot of information to present. You want to make sure that you're doing things so that someone watches that one video of yours, they know how to use that one program from that. They don't need anything more.
Yeah.
If you're doing more of like, I want to talk about pedagogy, I want to talk about, you know, this experience I had, things like that, that's fine. You can use it for that purpose. I think it is, it's understanding that if you want to just share some thoughts and start a conversation, you can do it really easily. If you want to put out something polished, you want to have that production value, that's a bit more intensive.
Well, that's something I've been focusing on in the last year, really, because before that, it was sort of like, okay, let's get it good enough. Let's get it up there. Let's start growing. And I think once I crossed the 10, I think it was 10,000 subscriber mark. That's when I said, right, now I'm going to really focus on the production value, and I'm going to try to get that up. So I started, learning about video editing, and I started, trying new things, and I started trying different things with lights, and I got some, some different panels and stuff. And I think it's just, if you're willing to learn, then you can definitely get really good at something. I think the easiest, like the least time consuming, is probably what we're doing right now, is a live stream, because there is zero editing involved. Like it's time consuming in terms of what we're doing, and we're spending an hour, 2 hours talking to everyone live, but there's zero editing, and there is very little prep in terms of videos. I mean, I probably spend more time on a 3-minute video than I'll spend on a 2-hour stream. So
yeah, there's got to be far more teacher podcasts that you see than teacher YouTube channels, and I think a lot of it is
absolutely
the same reason that there's so many people on Twitch streaming games. There's no production value required. You just have your personality, or you have a particular talent that you're willing to share with people. You put that out there, and people tune in. And people, like you said before, if you've got good audio, that's great. You don't need great video to go with it. And that really builds that streamer kind of culture that's really emanating from across the entirety, all facets of the internet, not just education. That's a whole swift shift at the moment.
And also, I mean, it helps you, because I used to hate being in front of a camera. I used to dread having to speak up in a large group. I used to really not enjoy presenting anything really to anyone that was over the age of 16. And that was sort of like, okay, they're adults now. I don't want to. And having had YouTube as a platform to sort of develop that skill and get more comfortable on camera, has then allowed me to become more comfortable in front of people, has allowed me to become a more confident presenter, has then allowed me to do more presentations, and then has allowed me to move on to doing some keynotes. And then and this is now that someone who hates public speaking is now doing trainings and presentations, and I credit it to just the practice, because it's incredibly hard to talk to a camera. It's incredibly hard to talk to a camera.
And I think a lot of it goes back to, like I was saying, it felt very reminiscent of being an early teacher. It's that putting yourself in front of an audience and trying to get used to it. I did the Google Education Summit in Kathmandu a couple months back. That's where I met Seti, and there was this moment where they asked if anyone to just get up and say 30 seconds to a group of adults about something they'd learned or something they thought was worth sharing. And I got nudged by my wife to give it a go. I was terrified. I hated that experience. If you put me in front of a couple hundred children, I'm fine. I'm in my element. I'm gonna have a good time, and we're gonna learn some fun stuff. 30 adults, terrifying. Absolutely horrible experience. Chest palpitations. It was awful. When you get used to it, right?
But it was the beginning of something big, something great. It's the same with all these amazing people in the chat. I'm sure that everyone in the chat today, at some point, you will be joining us on the panel, and you will be sharing, because there's some amazing educators in the chat right now. We've got some brilliant people sharing and leaving comments. And let me just quickly go from that and just pull one up here. We've got Googly Judy Hands in Hands. Oh, brilliant name. Love that. What she's been doing is, for the last 5-6 months, she's been creating short videos, uploading them, but she's leaving them unlisted. And I just want to say, Judy, that's exactly what I did. That's how I got started. I used YouTube as a platform to host my videos until Davis, and again, you'll hear that name come up often. Davis told me, do you know what? Change them. I said, what do you mean? Change my videos? I said, no, just switch it from unlisted to public. I said, oh, okay. He said, yeah, just do it. So I did. And then I got those first 10 viewers, 10 views. And I was like, what? 10 people watch this? That's crazy. 10 people that I don't know. And then I got 100. And then 1,000. And then suddenly I had like 20 subscribers. So I was like, these are 20 people that actually want to come back for more. Like, it's not just once, not just a one-off. They want to see more. And then once I got 100 subscribers, like that was it. I thought like, wow, that's it. I'm done. Yeah.
And now you have 40,000.
Yeah.
Now I'm about to hit 41,000. Yeah, it's mental. It is
crazy that
it's been such
experience.
It's an amazing journey. I've met so many brilliant people. I've had the opportunity to share with different people, to connect with people. There's other people on YouTube that then, suddenly, because you've been on YouTube consistently, and again, it's not about the subscriber numbers, it's about being consistent. If they see you're making consistent content, you are, you become part of that group. And what I like about YouTube is that if you have 10 subscribers or 10,000 or 100,000, it does not matter. You can collaborate with anyone. You can work together with anyone. There are no, there's some egos, but not in the educational world. Actually, yeah, I think our special guest might not make it because he texted me that he was probably be driving. But just to maybe name drop him, and hopefully he'll be here next week. Jamie Keith from Teachers Tech. He was going to join us tonight if he was going to make it. His channel has 175,000. And there's no competition. There's billions of people. There's enough people out there for everyone. I see we've got some other amazing educators in our chat. Right, so here, this comment, let me just quickly pull this one up. We've got Stephanie sharing about the hope she has to have her students do some live streams. So that would definitely be a very interesting one. And the encouragement, yeah, I would go for it. Definitely go for it. Just do it. And all those unlisted videos you have, go through them, make sure there's nothing sort of copyright or maybe students that are not interested in getting, their faces out, and you cover your tracks, but yeah, make them public. If it was videos created by you and you are, you're good about it, and there's no one else in your video, make them public because you're the one that created the content. So I would definitely go for that. Eric, when are we going to see you become incredibly active with Classwork Zoom on YouTube? Because we haven't really talked about how brands can utilize YouTube as well.
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I had a video when I went to ISTE, then I had a video made by this fellow in the UK, which was really cool because he films on his computer a really, really high resolution so he can zoom in to focus on different aspects. And so last week it was on Shooks and GIF, the podcast, and they talked specifically about how they watched that video a whole lot and they were really impressed. So yeah, I know there's a lot of potential that I haven't really focused on. I posted that video on my site, and so I know it could help a lot, but I just haven't really tried to capitalize on it much.
How about Classwork Zoom as a product or as a company? Would you consider having them produce regular content, or do you think that that's maybe something you're not at this point, you don't want to start spending time on?
Well, like right now, I'm as a teacher, I'm just so short on time, but I'm interested in moving into ed tech, and so that's if I'm working in ed tech instead of teaching full time, then that would be an area that would be very natural to move into. And if I associated that with the Classwork Zoom channel, then actually that would be a great way to draw attention to it. So providing good free quality content, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, because I mean, YouTube is huge, and I think, I mean, also you're not limited to a single channel. Like, to give you an example, I've got my own channel, so my Flipped Classroom channel, but then I also produce content for the Apps Events channel, and I'm on here with all of you guys, and so you're definitely not limited to a single avenue. Like, there's endless possibilities, especially as educators. Like, you know, you can dip in and out of, like, this web show. I mean, I see in the chat we've got Stephanie. Stephanie, by all means, jump in if you want to. You know, if you want to jump in, have a chat. I'll send you the link right now, and you know, you can drop in and you can just join this panel. There's so many opportunities for everyone to get involved. Judy, same thing. I mean, I see that you say that you like the channel. Well, come and join us. Jump into the channel. Jump onto the channel. Come and join the channel, and then that might kickstart your own channel. So yeah, I would definitely say, Eric, I would say go for it. Start creating content, maybe on your own channel, get comfortable, get confident, and then go for the Classwork Zoom content. Definitely.
Another thing worth noting as well is how young YouTube is in relation to teaching. Like, this is a fairly new relationship, and it's definitely something that's not going to look the same in about 5 years' time with how it gets used in the classroom and how educators are using YouTube. But that's something that's going to develop. You need as many voices contributing to how that happens as possible. As many people
Absolutely.
to add in that content and steer the direction that it can go.
Well, it's going to continue to develop. I mean, one example, for example, the whole COPPA thing now, where, you know, content is being shifted and changed, and absolutely, I mean, things will, you know, it's very different. Things will continue to change, and I think YouTube in 5 years from now will look very different. And how that is then used in the classroom, well, that will be vastly different again. I mean, for all we know, there might be a YouTube for education. I mean, who knows? We've got YouTube now. We've got YouTube for kids. What's stopping them from creating a YouTube for education platform that is solely based on, you know, solely aiming for that educational content? I think that is definitely something there.
So I think there's already one, YouTube for education, YouTube.com.
Yeah, there is an yeah, but that's like YouTube Gaming and YouTube. It's sort of, it's not a separate platform or a separate area, because you can classify your channel as an educational channel, which is also what we've done with this channel. This channel is classified as an educational channel. I'm not sure. Oh, how about your channel, Nick? Is it tech or education or?
I think it's education. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can set that in your settings.
Yeah.
Right, Ralph. When are we going to see you on YouTube as a YouTuber?
Well, see, I'm very undecided because in the edtech world there are so many great people like you already. So I wouldn't dare to.
If you're already there.
Yeah. What
you are in the edtech world. Come on.
So I thought about music production videos, or focusing on music tech, maybe in the classroom, or but again, content production, good content production, and I would, as you set the bar so high, I know that I won't start out like that if I ever get started, but that's where I want to be, like quality wise or production value wise, as we called it today. And I think I have more pressing things to learn still, or more pressing things to attend to, like also private things are often falling short.
Okay, brilliant. Well, I would definitely, I'll be there to support you.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I can't wait to see your content. Right, I'm gonna try something ridiculous right now. I'm gonna do something really different from what we've always done, because we've already gone past the hour mark. So all our viewers are excited. Let's do something that we've never done before. I'm going to take the join link. I'm going to pop it into the SEA 19 cohort, which is the innovator cohort in Southeast Asia. And we're going to see who is going to jump into our StreamYard.
That is cool.
So we're going to have a little bit of a Russian roulette of educators. So I'm just going to pop it in there, and let's just see if anyone is brave enough to jump in, and then we're going to see what happens. So I'm going to pop it in the innovators. I'm going to also quickly just drop that into another chat with some amazing educators, the energizers, and we are going to see if anyone is going to join.
That's a really cool idea.
So let's see what happens. Right, who's going to be brave enough to join us using that special link in the private chat that I've just shared with all the innovators and the energizers? And if you're brave enough, this could be the beginning of your YouTube career. So if you're ready to take that step, to just start getting out there, if you've been watching, we've got a whole bunch of viewers here. I want to get you all onto YouTube. So if you are brave enough, I'm looking at you, Luke, beyond the classroom. I'm looking at you, Judy, Stephanie, everyone in the chat, Adriana, again. Jump onto that link, pop into our stream right now, and I will pull you in. Come on, just like Gary's doing, come on in. And if you're not going to come in, then we're just going to continue talking until we have some extra people that are coming in.
May I share?
Absolutely.
My daughter is good in video making. I did not teach her how to do one, but she learned it on her own because she was asked by her teacher to discuss a math concept. So she basically created a video discussing, I think it's multiplication. So she was able to give the answer correctly in the problem. So it's not the traditional way of, okay, solve this math equation or math problem, write it on a piece of paper. No, it was not. It was with the use of, I think, what they call this, animation. Wherein you put all the shots.
Stop motion?
The stop motion using a digital camera. So I did not.
Right. That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Is it being shared a bit more? Like, are you okay with that? With it being shared? And
but I think yes, it's fine. We were talking about earlier about the age, right? But I think she can, and she'll like it, I think.
Okay. So brilliant. Right. We have, oh no, Stephen, come back. We just had Stephen in the back room, but he is definitely not alone. We've got a whole bunch more. Right, I am going to pop you in right now. There you go. Welcome, Stephanie. You're in the stream on YouTube. Right,
Hi,
so you were saying that you have a whole bunch of unlisted videos.
I do. Probably, I would guess I have at least 200 or 300 unlisted videos.
Oh wow! So what's stopping you from making them public? Is it just you, or is there other people in there?
It's mostly me. Sometimes it's me working. Like this morning, it'll actually be me working with any educators. I do like at my school these mini 15 to 20 minute PD sessions where they're on specified small topics, and teachers can come in before school to learn about them. So I typically use Screencastify, record if I have any sort of presentation. They might be there asking asking questions, and then there's also the ability for people to hop on. Like we'll have a Google Hangouts link for them. So I started to think that doing it this way might also be a way to bring people in and widen the question audience. But right now it's specifically geared at my own school. So it's a link specific for them. So I think I just have to check about widening the educator scope. And
no, that'd be brilliant. I mean, I would definitely be interested in seeing that develop and sort of grow. Because I mean, I know you are working with a lot of different teachers, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, my school, we have 120, and then the other school in my district has about 70, but we're high school. But I would say we work often with other people or going to other conferences and connecting across. And right now I got a little California Innovators group going to help me, since I didn't know many people who were other Google innovators in this region. And so we talked about wanting to create a YouTube live for that cohort.
Yeah,
and actually
absolutely.
a way for us to share out our current projects. So I just want to, I think it's a forum I've never utilized. I've always thought about just keeping it to the people that need the information, and I haven't really broadened my scope. But I think watching yours, it's continued to like nudge at me, which says maybe it's something I should think about.
And that's a very similar position to how I kind of jumped in here as well. Like I put my YouTube channel out there 2 weeks ago after doing a weekly morning training session for my colleagues at my school, just offering a little bit of my experience from using a lot of the Google suite of applications, and just trying to share things, and then just kind of help promote that that collegiality, getting people enthusiastic about listening, and then hopefully enthusiastic about sharing as well. Yeah, I think it's an awesome idea.
Can I ask?
Yeah, no.
Can I ask?
Yeah, go for it.
Sethy? So, do you find like I
think we lost you there for a minute. Could you ask that again? Because I think your audio has gone. Oh, are you still there? I think you might. Yeah, your audio is gone. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if you want to maybe exit and then come back into the stream. It might be a little connectivity issue. But yeah, no, any questions? If anyone has any questions, by all means, jump in, ask your questions. We've got a panel here of amazing educators. I mean, we've got Nick, Eric, Gary, Ralph. They will be here to help you. So by all means, jump in, ask the question.
Sethy, did you want to quit at any time doing the YouTube thing?
Many times. I think what has been so far in terms of quitting, I think it's been the time, because I've increased my time investment as well. I went from 1 video a month to 1 every other week to 1 video every week, and now I'm making 1 video every week on 3 channels. Wow. So the time. It's a big time investment. So my own channel is either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday upload, and then the Apps Events channel is every other week on a Wednesday, and then the Thursdays I've committed to the Thursdays. So I'm trying. I've been here for every single one so far. I've only missed 1, but I was in the chat. I will probably, not do every single Thursday, because obviously, the other 2 channels, I need to maintain those. That absolutely has to be maintained. Where here we have an amazing panel of educators, all of you included. I mean, and that's what I like about this format, is we're all taking it in turns to host, and we're taking it in turns to moderate, and we're taking it in turns, and I love this. It is so
beautiful. Things have happened.
Yes, it's very chill. We've talked about all sorts of stuff. We've planned an entire session and talked about something else. So, yes, Stephanie, you're back now. Do you want to quickly try again and see if your audio works?
I think my question for you was really about balancing moderating as well as being a part of the production. And I didn't know if you talked about that earlier, because when I participated in the YouTube Live Asia, hey Carrie, when I participated in that with Adrian, I know he was balancing being a moderator and a participant, and then thinking about how to answer live stream questions. So I didn't know if you typically have certain people that you ask to be doing stuff in the background as things have grown, or how you...
Yes, so the way we've been doing it is whoever leads the session sort of does all the questioning, make sure the conversation keeps moving, tries to ensure that people are pulled into the stream. And then we have, usually it's Gary. Gary's been amazing in the back end. He's often quiet on stream, but he's always typing away in the back. And then we've got Ralph as well, who's very active in the comments. But we do all try to, as participants, when we're not sort of moderating, we try to jump into the chats and make sure that people are getting their answers. One example, for example, like Gary will signal to me in the private chat if somebody has something specific they'll want to say, or if there's something specific that needs to be done. For example, Nick is signaling in the private chat now that it's getting a bit late, and then, you know, he's going to have to go soon. So that's sort of a little heads up. It is tricky because as you're talking, you're having to read both the public comments and the private comments, and so there's always a bit of a delay.
But you handle that so well, Sadie. It is amazing.
I try, but I do realize that I talk too much, and that is because I'm
so
used to making.
When
no, but that is a problem because I'm so used to making YouTube videos. Is that whenever I'm a participator, I try to not talk and let the conversation, because I know I tend to talk too much. That is my weakness.
But
no, I disagree. It's not a weakness.
Camera now.
Yeah, sorry. Being engaging is not a weakness. Yeah.
No.
I would agree, not a weakness. But I do think if I'm doing this with teachers or teachers at my school or teachers that don't see each other regularly, that we might need some protocoled approach for like how people share or those pieces.
I think it's very important if you're going to do it with teachers. I mean, especially if it's in a format like this where everyone is now live on YouTube. I think is incredibly important, and I think James did that really well when he led his session as well. And Eric, actually, because that was the first time I think you moderated it, is to have a list of backup questions that you can sort of refer to when the conversation stops. Because even though you might have 6, 7, 8, 9 people in stream, and you know that every single one of them knows the answer or has something to say, they might not say it.
I think that was Ralph's idea. Thanks, Ralph.
Yes.
And also, we have a document being shared. So basically, there are things that we want to say, so no one would duplicate, or if someone would like to add something, you just put it there and then share it with the rest of the group. So
that document, the document Gary is referring to, is an overview. We've basically planned out all our streams up until February next year. We have topics up to next February. However, if someone says next week I want to do that, we just move the rows down and we put it in there. So it's not set in stone, things move around, but that is our backup. So if nobody says right now, for example, if Ralph doesn't say, I want to do it next week on this, then we refer back to that document, and that document is the backup. So that's how we try to make sure. And then also in that document, we keep our YouTube link, which is the public link, and the Streamlabs link, which is this link that you've now used to join the stream. So we have 2 links in there, and that helps everyone to easily share it out. If somebody says, I lost the link, well, what was the join link again? We can quickly share that with each other as well.
And if I go back in this, is there an easy way to talk about how you get started with like using Streamlabs?
Yes, so basically you can Streamlabs, you log in, you can host your own broadcasts, and you link it to a channel. Now this has to be a channel that you are a manager of. Now all our hosts are managers of our channel. This is a joint channel that we all manage together, as in those people that are literally weekly regulars. Right now in the stream we have Ralph, Gary, and Eric. They are all managers of the channel. So all of us, we have a way of pushing our stream into that public channel. That requires you to really trust those people, because if they push a stream into the channel that could jeopardize the channel, that could have the channel taken down, then obviously that's not something you want. So you want to make sure that whoever you make a manager of a channel, you trust them 100%. That is important to realize, that you are giving away a part of yourself almost. So I would keep your own personal channel as your personal channel, and then have a joint channel. And like, for example, one of the risks is once you start being consistent, I'm now thinking about my own channel. If I was to say, okay, I'm going to bring on Eric to post videos onto my channel, first thing, my audience doesn't expect that. Second thing, they might not be ready for it. They might stop watching. Thirdly, it could really mess up my algorithm in terms of how YouTube promotes my channel, because YouTube has come to expect a video on Monday or Tuesday. If I post a video on Tuesday and then within 2 hours, when that video hasn't even started, being pushed out to everyone. Then Eric suddenly posts a video on my channel. Well, that's going to mess the whole thing up, and then that video is going to die, and I've just spent hours editing a video that nobody's going to see. So when you're sharing channels, you need to have some ground rules in place.
I've got to shoot off. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Nick. I know Eric is also Eric. It is really late there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting pretty late. That's all right.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you, Nick, for joining.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, thanks.
Bye.
Hey, greetings to Nepal. Very special country.
It is.
Brilliant. So, yes. Any other questions? I think we're probably going to slowly wrap up this stream. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes in.
Sorry,
Gary.
So far.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gary. I didn't beat your limit. But I think we're getting sort of to the end of it. I know we've still got some. I mean, we've got a nice big group of very excited watchers. If you want to jump in, by all means, jump in, and we can keep going for another 10 minutes. But for as far as I'm concerned, I just want to say thank you so much, Gary, for joining us today.
You're welcome. I'm happy to be back. I missed last Thursday.
Well, you were sort of there. You were there with your phone in your pocket.
Yeah, you were there in spirit, definitely. And you were live for a couple of seconds as well.
Yeah, definitely. And Ralph, again, you have been a pillar of this show even from way back 3-4 years ago. So thank you for being here and for allowing me to just talk and talk and talk.
Really, Seti, you know that all of us are feeling more than comfortable getting our word in if it is needed, or if you have to clarify something else. But I think, as you said, I enjoy this format so much because we have the spirit and the freedom to see where it takes us, and that's beautiful.
Absolutely.
And sharing out the link more widely is okay, I think.
Yeah, and I think on those beautiful words, I think we might wrap it up and we might take this stream offline. Everyone, I want to say thank you to all our amazing watchers, all our amazing people that have shared this out. By all means, take the link, share out the replay. It won't be live, but there is a comment section. We read those comments. Leave your comments there. We're going to do the best we can to answer them. And we will see all of you again next week. We haven't decided who's going to host it yet. I've got a feeling it might be, maybe Gary, maybe someone who's already left. And again, if you want to get in touch with us and if you want to be part of this stream, leave it in the comments so we can get to know you. We can get you involved. We can make this a more regular thing. So you want to scroll all the way down, leave your comment, scroll back up, and hit that red subscribe button, because it should never be a red button. It should be grayed out. You should be subscribed. You should be watching this. You should be getting notified. Hit that bell or you don't get notifications, and we will see you all next week for another Thirsty Thursdays, where us educators quench our thirst for knowledge. Thank you all for watching, and we are going to go offline.